Alright, thanks for joining me. I'm going to show you a couple of reloading tips that will hopefully improve your accuracy with your hand loads. This is something that another fella showed me, and so I'm going to make a video real quick to show you how to do that. We're reloading some 6.5 Grendel today, and the first thing, these are already primed. They're full of powder. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe it's kind of dark in there, but anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is these are ready to go, so I'm going to be stuffing a bullet in these things, and essentially I'm going to put my finger over the neck to keep the powder from coming out, and I'm going to gently tap on the rim of the case here against my press, and what that's doing is that's getting the powder to settle in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick that in there. We're going to put in a bullet. And I'm using RCBS dies on this particular load, and I've got the bullet in there fairly straight, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the ram down until it just starts to seat the bullet. Then I'm going to back the ram out. I'm going to turn the case a quarter of a turn. I'm going to run it up a little bit more. Same thing, I'm going to repeat that process, turn it a quarter of a turn, run it up just a little more, repeat it a quarter of a turn, and then one last time. And there we go. Now the bullet's completely seated. And essentially what we've done now is we've settled the powder so that in a compressed load, which most loads you should be running near max if you're trying to get the most out of your rounds. Obviously accuracy is most important, but you should be running right at about max capacity for your case. So you're going to have pretty close to a compressed load, and if not, it should be pretty close. I can shake this round and you can't hear the powder sloshing around in there, and that means that this is pretty close to being a compressed load. Now when I seat the bullet, I'm not feeling the powder crunch, but it's still pretty tight, and what that does is that really lowers our extreme spread and gives us a much better pressure curve when this round is fired. And so the last step that we did, and that's just from shaking the case against the press here, and you can see I've got a little bit of markings on there where I do this for almost every round that I load. And so the last thing that we did was when we were seating it, we were turning the case just a little bit, and that's so that we get the bullet centered in the casing. And so we're going to throw this on the comparator gauge here. Bear with me because I'm trying to do this one-handed. This could be tricky. Alright, sorry about that. I've got the bullet mounted in our run-out gauge here, and I've got the gauge set, got the bullet, the round in the gauge, and I'm just going to spin it, and I'm going to focus on the dial here, and we'll see how much run-out this round has. And this is one that I just did without any modifications to it. So what I'm doing is I'm spinning the bullet, and the dial is right on the me-plat there, right on the ogive, and that's right at 1,000th of run-out, which is perfect. I mean, that's really as good as it gets for a round that I just loaded without doing any modifications. This tool does have an adjustment knob here where you can actually spin this in, and to do that you would take the low side, so right there, and you would turn this dial in and put a little pressure on the bullet, and then you back it off until you got within, I like to be within 2 to 3 thousandths of run out on my rounds, and being at 1 with not having to do anything is perfect. So there's just a couple of tricks to hopefully help you guys in your reloading process so that you're getting the most accuracy out of your reloaded rounds. So I hope you enjoy this. If you have any questions, let me know.